back with you for another quick video. This is going to be the Mortal Kombat review. I am going to mention some specifics. I'm going to say spoilers just in case, but I'm not going to mention particular details. I'm just going to mention overall broad synopsises of things, but still some people might say that's spoilerish, so I'm just going to do a spoilerish kind of review thing, warning here at the beginning of the video. Mortal Kombat, for those who don't want spoilers, if you're a fan of the old movie or a fan of the franchise, definitely go check it out. You'll enjoy it. As far as others, if you're in the mood for a decent fighting movie, I'd recommend, hand-to-hand combat movie. I'd definitely check it out too as well. It's good to great. It has its moments. It has its bad sides too, and I will go into that in detail now. This is when I kind of got to get into the spoiler territory. As far as acting goes, some of the characters they chose were spot on. Kano, for example, was the best of the best out of the crop. As far as acting abilities and convincing me that he was the character. Now, there was also bad acting as well. There was a couple characters, Liu Kang was one of them, that it seemed like they just chose because he looked like the character. Didn't have much acting prowess at all. It was wooden, it was stiff, it was just horrible almost. So you're going to have your variances in range in acting abilities, and that kind of does bring the movie down in some spots. I notice a lot of people have been complaining about the movesets that they do in the movie. Now, they say, why do they do that? It looks old school, out of place or old-fashioned. It's old moves from the older games. If you're a fan of the original Mortal Kombat's all the way up through, if you followed it from the original Mortal Kombat that came out when it first came out till now, you'll recognize some of those moves. And it was just a nostalgia thing, and I understand why those moves were there. So if people were sitting there saying, if you're watching this as a fighter movie, and you go into it and you say, okay, I'm going to watch this for its fighting prowess, you're going to see these moves and probably go, what the hell? Well, it's because they were all moves in the video game. Now, as far as special effects range from freaking phenomenal to just plain out horrible. I mean, it seems almost like they had a budget, and the budget ran out, so they put a lot of the cleanup of the special effects and the graphics into the major key fights, and then kind of left the others unfinished, or maybe they ran out of time. It's one of those two scenarios, but it was almost laughable. I mean, it was laughable in certain parts of the movie where the special effects were just worse than what anything DC has even put out. But when it's on and they're doing it right and they do the proper cleanups, perfect. So when it's on, it's on. When it's off, yeah, it's off. You will definitely tell. Let's see here. As far as the fights, they range from bad to good or to excellent as well. I mean, the final fight scene is definitely worth it. There's a few fights that are just phenomenal, but there are a few fights that are just It's like, was that even considered a fight? So, broad overall synopsis is that it's a good movie, it's a great movie, but it's not perfect by no means. It's not horrible by no means. I mean, it does have its awful spots, its awful acting, its awful CGI, its awful fights, but then again, at the same time, what's great and what's phenomenal kind of outshines the bad. So, I give this movie a good to great kind of thumbs up. Definitely check it out, definitely see it. And once we finish watching it, we all sit around, me and my girl, and we're just like, well, what do we prefer, the old Mortal Kombat or the new Mortal Kombat? And there was plenty of areas where we prefer the new Mortal Kombat, but there's plenty of areas where we prefer the old Mortal Kombat. Soundtrack wise, love the old soundtrack. The new one, it was good, it was great, but it wasn't as good as the old one. The new style Goro, I prefer the old style Goro. Me and my girlfriend agreed on that. We agreed on, a lot of characters a few characters from the old one should have been in the new one. So When it comes to choosing in between the two, they're both great in their own right. They both have their faults. They both have their greatness. They're both good movies. They're both great movies, and choosing in between the two is just basically impossible. Uh, they do change some of the storyline in the new Mortal Kombat. If you're familiar with the storylines from the Mortal Kombat games, you're probably going to scratch your heads. The Cole ability was laughable. It was. And the special effects on that was another one of those laughable moments. Um, so the new character, he didn't go over too well with us. I mean, we enjoyed him. He wasn't a bad actor, but he wasn't a great actor either. Some of them were in the film, and when you have that contrast in between actors, it sticks out. It sticks out a lot. So I'm hoping that the people who are giving this the negative reviews and the naysays, because it does pay a lot of homage into the older games. Brings some older characters back, some old move sets, and it does have some funny references where there's a spot where Liu Kang and Kano are going into each other, and he's doing the one move over and over again, and Kano gets up and says, "That's the only move you're ever going to do." That's a reference if you ever played online games or with a buddy or versus anybody. Somebody's done to you. If you've played the games, you'll recognize it spamming the same move over and over again. That was hilarious. I like that. I like how they did a lot of references to the games. It was really enjoyable. I'm not sitting here saying that the bad outweighs the good. No, the good outweighs the bad. Just as with the original, the good outweighs the bad. So, like I said, choosing in between the two is an impossible task. I hope everybody watches and enjoys. I hope it doesn't get dinged too bad, because they said that there's going to be 4 more movies of this. I'd like to see it continue. Hopefully, if it's allowed to continue and it does get popular, the popularity will increase the budget and it can fix some of the graphical problems that they had with this one. Some of the sound problems too. And there was some sound issues, but that's very minor. That's only if you're trained in media will you hear these sound problems. So most people will never even notice these. So hopefully it improves in quality because of that. Maybe they can replace some of these actors and get some better actors in there, or have the actors that were in this one go take some acting classes, improve on their acting. Maybe this will help them improve their acting as a first time experience. I don't know. Some of these actors were first time experiences with this movie. So hopefully it will improve to the better if the audience gives it the proper thumbs up and allows them to get a bigger budget to do what they need to do. So here's hoping that the next Mortal Kombat is an improvement on that one and we actually get to the tournament. Alright, I'm Mr. Anger. Y'all be good or be good at it.